Hey everyone, welcome back. So today let's discuss the concept of ports. So in internet, when two computers communicate, we know that each computer has an address to it, right? So in addition to address, there are ports that are assigned within each computer in the network. For example, just to clear what I'm talking about, ports. Okay, so when your computer PC and let's say you're watching Netflix. So we already saw that your computer will have an IP address and Netflix will have its own address, which is called as an IP address. If you haven't watched on what happens when you search on internet video, you can have a look at it so that we know why IP address is needed, which is pretty straightforward. Every computer needs to be identified in the network. If you want to talk to Netflix's computer to watch videos, you need to know its address. If you want to buy something in Amazon, you need to know the Amazon's IP address. Now, in addition to IP address, there are a lot of ports within a particular computer. For example, Netflix will have a port called 443. So 443 means HTTPS. So when your computer hits netflix.com https, so when your PC hits, what it will search for in the internet, it will search for https www dot netflix.com. So when you hit this in PC, it knows that it needs to go to the Netflix computer using the IP address, right? There is a DNS lookup, which I have mentioned in that video as well. So it will go to DNS to see for www.netflix.com what is the address. So there is a directory which gives the address and your PC will hit that address. Now within netflix.com, so Netflix is a computer and it can have multiple services. Multiple services I mean is, one is HTTPS service, which gets request from the client and then it sends a response to the client. So it receives, hey, I want this video, hey, here is the video. So this is one service. There is a service that keeps on getting requests from clients in the internet and gives them back the video. So this service is exposed in a port called 443. It is clear. But other than that, Netflix can have multiple services. For example, it can have a service at 8446 only for administrators. So if someone does 8446, the Netflix page might look completely different. They will see a page like Netflix admin. Yeah, Netflix doesn't do that, but a website can have like that, where only the administrators who will be able to put videos in Netflix, not ask for videos. So they can go into this website, log in, and they can add a new film or a new series and then come out of it. So basically this is just to say that an example of a particular computer that can have multiple services in it, right? For example, your personal computer PC might have a printer service. So when you hit a print, it will use a particular port to talk to the printer, right? Similarly, other than that, if there is a port for RDP, if someone needs to externally connect to your PC, then it allows it to connect in another port. So a computer it's normal that a computer runs many services, but to reach a computer, other people have only one address. So after going to the computer to say which service I want to access, I want to access the admin, or I want to access the HTTPS as a client, or I want to issue a printer command. So every services will be talking in a different port, right? So it is clear why ports are needed, right? So a computer might expose multiple services and identify or separate each services. Each services will be listening on a different port or communicating in a different port, right? Let's see an example which is pretty straightforward, and it happens exactly how it happens in the real world, right? Everyone might have used Gmail or Outlook or anything. I'll go with Gmail because it's used pretty widely and it is free as well, I think. So let's talk about the Gmail server. That is the important guy here. So we have a Gmail computer or Gmail server. So in general, what and all Gmail server needs? One is that it needs a service where the users can first talk to the server. Hey, I want to send an email. So there is need to be a service which listens to the user request, right? So let's say this runs on a port 587, and then what and all Gmail does, it once you gets the email, it will probably check if the email has the potential to be a spam. Say this computer is only handling the request, and Gmail has another computer to filter the email and then do processing if needed and those kind of things. Say there is another Gmail computer. Maybe it is a small computer because it just does smaller operation, but it is another Gmail computer which has its own IP address. So now you, from your mobile phone or your tablet or your PC, you hit the 587 port. Gmail's IP by 587. By this you mean that I want to go to the Gmail computer and I want to hit the 587 service, because you know Gmail's or your application knows that Gmail's request receiving service is exposed in port 587. So it will hit the 587 service with a message. Send hello to Arjun. So in 587 it will get this message and see that a user wants to send an email to Arjun. Now what it does is, this Gmail, it doesn't have, this computer is not having the service to process the email and verify if it is a spam or it is a valid. So what it does, it sends this message to the another server. So this computer is hosting a service that basically filters the spam. So this will expose that service in 25. Right? So from here to here, what does the message go? Filter message. Right? And it will go to the this IP address and port 25. So Gmail probably knows which IP to call, and it knows that my internal servers, this is a server which is exposed to internet. These are small servers which does the work, for example, not exactly how they configured, but it knows that this guy will open the filter messaging service in 25. So it will hit the IP of this computer and 25, and it will goes. And then, okay, now it reached 25, and there is another computer or the same computer which is responsible for delivering this message to Arjun. So Arjun's PC is here. So after filtering, it will say in another message that IP 25, but this time this is this system's IP and the same port 25, and say it is valid. You can send the message as a normal inbox message. Now what happens is this talks to here, your PC. Again in the port, for example, 587. So this is Arjun's PC. So from here it again hit the PC of the target computer or mobile, which is another Gmail application. So your computer might be exposing, or your Gmail client will be starting in the 587. So you have a Gmail app here which is communicating via 587, and again you have a Gmail client here which accepts traffic from 587 of the Gmail server. It is pretty clear forward, right? So within a particular computer, just to give an example of another service runs, now this 587 service only receives mail from you. So if you want to get the messages from the storage, see this server has a storage which has all the emails you have received. So now the request is different. Now the request is, the IP is same, but now the request is that give me all my messages. Give me 500 messages of mine. Now this service doesn't care about it. If you send this to this, it doesn't know what to do with it. So there is another Gmail server service that is running which have access to this. So it goes to IP of 993. So this is the reading service which is exposed in 993. So it goes and hits, this guy understands, okay, you want 500, I got your request, and it goes to the storage, picks up the first 500 and gives you back the response. It is clear why ports are needed, right? So the numbers which I mentioned can be random, but they are reserved for specific reasons, just to know that, okay, when you create a client can be implemented so that it needs to hit 587. And when multiple servers are implemented between one mail server and another mail server, it is always 25. And when you try to read a message to a mail server, it is always 993. So this mail server hitting 587 where you say I want to send a message, this is called as SMTP. It is just a protocol that allows, that has the rules to say, okay, this is how the data will look like when a user wants to send an email, and this will look like, called as a IMAP, I think. So when you send to 993 via this protocol, it is clear that, okay, the user wants to read the message. So the Gmail server or any mail server, when they are implementing their computer, they know that in 993 they need to expose the IMAP service, right? This can be random. They can just simply expose it in 500. We cannot control that. But in the internet, just to make everything easy so that this can be implemented, assuming that this will be in 993. So your client should know, your Gmail app should know that it needs to hit 993 to get the messages. If it is in 500, it will keep on hit 993 and say there is no service found to read the messages. So to keep things consistent, they reserve the ports for certain reason. 587 means it is for SMTP, for user to authenticate with it. If it is 25, it is for two internal mail servers to communicate, right? So these ports are decided by a governing authority called IANA. It is called Internet Assigned Numbers Authority, I think. So they are responsible for deciding and reserving port. We know that HTTPS is a popular protocol, right? When a computer communicates with another computer using an HTTP request, it always does via HTTPS. So every computer on the internet, Netflix, Amazon, everyone will expose that service in 443. This is reserved for HTTPS. You can have a computer which exposes HTTPS in some other port, for example, but then your browser, any browser in the world, if someone types https yourcomputer.com to reach your computer, they will try to hit the number 443. So if 443 is not there, your computer will reply saying that I don't have that service. So it is hard to go and configure the entire browser to say I am exposing it in a different port. Probably if you send that particular person, they might be able to configure it. But to keep things consistent, this authority governs reserving ports, and then things happen seamlessly, right? Yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and let's meet in the next video. Thank you. Bye.